up, guys? Got another video for you. This is DENT Sports here, coming with another video talking about Week 3. We did the preview a couple days ago and released that on the channel, and now we are going to get into the results of Week 3. For a lot of people at this table, we were left pretty disappointed, but one person managed to pull it out, and if you were to watch the predictions video, it was the one person that the one team that I said didn't have a chance, but I thought every other team had a chance to pull it out. So ain't it funny how that works? But yeah, with that being said, my team and Bennett's team actually played each other today, and we played each other to a tie.
Good God. Yeah.
So let's start with the Bengals side of things. What do you think about how the Bengals played today overall, and just the game in itself?
You know what? Running game, non-existent again, like in Week 2. Burrow threw 44 passes. That's a little bit too much in my opinion. Mixon only rushed for 49 yards on 17 carries. That's not too great. I mean, that I expect better from him. One bright side I'll say is Burrow played absolutely awesome. As always, I mean, I have yet to see him perform badly, really. Defense actually showed up today. Made a couple crucial stops down the line, down the road, in the game. Especially, towards the end and overtime. They made a couple big stops, were able to get the ball back. Did they do anything with it? No. But
they didn't give up the points.
They didn't give up the points, and that's ultimately, good thing. Wide receiving wise, Tyler Boyd, man, he's balling these days. I'm really impressed by how he's been playing. Definitely one of those wide receivers you should be grabbing in fantasy for this season, because he's going to be pretty good for a long time, I think. Throughout this season, he's going to be balling all year. So I liked overall the Bengals' performance, though. Do I wish they could have won? Yes, but no, they didn't pull it out.
Yeah. I thought the Bengals, they, played pretty well. They didn't, as evident by the tie, they didn't really play well enough to win the game, but I don't think they played bad enough to lose it either. They just kind of played competitively, and it ended up coming out to a tie. So I think it was, they played well enough to stay in the game, but they just weren't able to really do enough to get over the hump.
Another thing is, offensive line got to improve, man. Burrow got sacked 8 times this game. That is just ridiculous. So definitely can't be having that happen if we want to keep Burrow upright, and not have him injured halfway through the season. He took a flipping massive hit from what was the guy's name? Jackson?
Malik Jackson, ex-Broncos.
He took a massive hit from Malik Jackson. Luckily, only was out of play, then came back in the game. But still, man, one of these times he gets hit, he'll be done. So.
And then you get Ryan Finley back in there again.
That's what we don't need. Ryan Finley.
You guys want Driscoll back?
No, I'm good. I'm fine. I honestly could live without either of those guys. I think Ryan Finley's kind of bad, and I don't think Driscoll's not that much better. So, yeah. Overall, just.
What do you think about the Bengals?
We're talking about the Bengals side of things
First, yeah.
first. Okay. If you're a Bengals fan, I mean, it's not a win, but it's not a loss either, in my opinion. They really probably should have won the game. Overtime was a disaster. They didn't do anything in the overtime period. They didn't move the ball. I mean, they got fortunate that Philadelphia was not very good as well, so neither team looked very good in the overtime. It really depresses me because I actually had a bet on the over in this game, and the over was 46.5. And so as we sit here, it's 23-23, and that cost me $280. So I ain't got too many kind words to say about any of it. But I mean, again, I think Burrow played a nice game again this week. That kid's showing a lot of promise. Future's bright, for the Bengals. They got to get some offensive line because the offensive line needs to do a better job so Mixon can run better as well. They've got some things to address there. Defense played a little bit better than they had the last week, so that's encouraging. But still a lot of work to do in Bengal land.
Bengals. Another solid game from them. Again, ups and downs. Usual poor offensive line play with a lot of the stuff that went on. Defense did all right, with the Eagles. So all in all, can't be too depressed for the Bengal fans on this game, because again, I think we've mentioned before, it's tough to get wins and it's tough to get over that hump, and this is where we're at. Could be 0-3, could be 1-2, but they're 0-2-1. That's with it. And then again, as usual, what's the magic number? 24. You get 24, you usually win in this league. And they didn't get neither team got 24, and that's where you're at.
Didn't get the win.
So,
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Eagles.
Go ahead.
Fires.
Go ahead.
Man, they shot themselves in the foot, especially in overtime. Towards the end there, they were in field goal range, and pretty sure they got called for a false start. Got backed out of field goal range, and then managed to top it off with a delay of game penalty. So that
good coaching.
just
solid work, boys. Keep your head in the game.
But yeah, as far as the Eagles' performance, I think that pretty much sums up why they lost. And I think, well, they didn't really lose, but we tied. That pretty much sums
Why
up.
they didn't win.
Yeah, why they
Put
didn't
it that
win.
way.
From the Eagles side of things, it's got to be more of a disappointment than anything. I felt as though this was pretty much a must-win game for the Eagles. The Bengals really don't have, I don't think if you're a realistic Bengals fan, you probably didn't have too many ideas of them getting to a playoff this year anyways. But for the Eagles, different story. Their fans are pretty much fanatics, and they don't handle losing very well. And I thought this was pretty much a must-win game if they wanted to kind of revive the season. And unfortunately, they couldn't come out with a win. Again, I'm Carson Wentz played okay, but 2 interceptions, you can't do that. And I mean, I know he's got some. They're depleted a little bit with some receivers and stuff, so it's not exactly the full throttle of what he would normally have when he's playing. But in my opinion, If things continue to go kind of down this path with him, by the end of the season, they'll be looking for a new quarterback for next year.
Well, this is kind of something I forgot to mention when we were talking about the Bengals, but another wide receiver that I was pretty impressed by in that game was Mr. T. Higgins. He played pretty dang good in that today. 5 catches, 40 yards, not too bad for the young rookie.
Yeah.
Thought he played pretty decent.
Yeah. No, like I said, it was encouraging if you're a Bengals fan. I mean, you played one of the tougher teams in the league, right to a stalemate. So, and you really could have won the game. But for the Eagles, I mean, it's not, is it a death sentence? No, not necessarily. But, they got their work cut out for them now moving forward because the schedule's not too inviting to get a bunch of wins. So, we'll just have to see what happens. But, the Eagles pretty much year in and year out always, are able to weather some of the storms that they encounter. So we'll see what happens in this case. But that's my take on it.
Eagles. What would do with the Eagles? Encouraging. I guess they had 3 offensive linemen out. So with a makeshift line, they were able to hold at least a little bit of the rush back. Again, I know it's the Cincinnati defense, but still, it's somebody. So should be proud with that. Kudos for them to hanging into a game. Wasn't as bad as it could have been, and they've actually, I think, stepped up for this game because I think they knew it was a must win for them. So they did actually, I thought, serviceable. They were behind in the end. Wentz was able to step up, get a drive together, and actually put it into the end zone himself near the end to get it to a tie game, to put it in overtime. So
Yep.
I think all in all, not the result that you wanted from the game, but there wasn't anything that I don't think you could not take away from it and say, horrible. I think everybody stepped up the best they could and played to a lot of what the potential they have currently with the team that's on there. Silver lining, as in Silver Lining playbook, is that Giants lost, Washington football team lost, and the Cowboys lost. So that pretty much puts the NFC least still in contention with the sub 500 records. So again, I don't think all this, but what it's showing me though is I don't think anybody's going to run away with this division, and the only team that does has potential is the Cowboys. But if they put it together, and obviously the last few weeks they haven't, so they should be able. This is the point that they should be putting legs on the other teams to start separating themselves from everybody. But as long as they all keep on hovering around 500 or below, anybody's still got a chance in this division.
Yep.
The sucky thing that I was literally kind of unimpressed by was the fact that the Bengals gave up a touchdown right before halftime, which could have, had they held them there, could have scored. I mean, could have won the game. So that was kind of depressing. But other than that, just a couple of little things here and there that ended up, leading to what ended up to a tie.
Yikes. So let's talk about the good things. First of all, as Don alluded to, going into this game, we've had offensive line injuries. We had a couple of them return, but then we also had a couple of them go out with injuries during the course of the game again. During the course of the game, Deshaun Jackson got injured, as well as Dallas Goedert got injured. And so essentially it's turning into already week 3, last year's mishmash of just random who the hell are these guys players for our wide receiving core? And you just have a whole bunch of guys out there that you didn't even realize were in the NFL making up the team for the receiving core. So that's going to be difficult to win. Now, 8 sacks on Joe Burrow. Wonderful. Brandon Graham, he played excellent today. You know, I didn't get to watch the entire game, but I did get to watch some of it, and the times that I watched, that dude Brandon Graham, he was all over the field. I believe he ended up with 2 sacks today, and man, he was clogging holes, and just, he was a monster on the defensive side. So great job to him. Another person that I really thought played well was Greg Ward. You know, he's another guy that essentially.
Who's heard of him?
I mean, he came in last season when we were having every wide receiver on the roster go down, and he played some big minutes. And once again, his number was called, and he performed. So yeah, kudos to him. Zach Ertz, he played pretty well too. He made a couple of catches down the stretch that was good. Carson Wentz, good job on that run to tie the game, to send it to overtime. And the last thing is Jalen Hurts actually played today, which I've been saying from the beginning that, hey, you know, if we brought him in, which I think still was a mistake to waste a second-round pick on him when he's only at best going to be used for a handful of plays. So I still think that was a mistake. But if you're going to do it, don't just sit there and have him sitting on the bench. Again, we talked about there's other things behind it. He may not know the playbook. It's not just, oh, well, the coaching staff doesn't know what they're doing. I'm sure there's probably a reason why he hasn't been out there. But whatever the reason is, I don't want to hear it, because you wasted a pick on this guy. So he better be on the damn field. So those are all positives, as well as the fact that we did a great job, like I said, sacking the quarterback as well as run defense. We really made the Bengals offense relatively one-dimensional today. So those are all pluses. Those are all great improvements over the last couple weeks, and I was very, very happy about that. Now let's get into the stuff that I was not happy about. First of all, and, you know, buckle up. First of all, Carson Wentz, 2 interceptions, 3 sacks, QB rating of 49.2, 29 of 47 for 225 yards passing. He showed up at times, and he had that nice run-in for the touchdown at the end, but you got to be better than that. I mean, there was plays where he just looked like he didn't know what the hell he was doing out there. I honestly didn't know what the hell he was doing, so I don't know.
Welcome to the group.
I don't know how he knew what he was doing.
Fit right in with us.
Like, I didn't know what he was doing, and I don't think he knew what he was doing, which means I'm never going to have an idea what he's doing. He just needs to play better. That's it. With that being said, he scrambled for 65 yards. But he had 9 carries, and I know at least one of those was a QB sneak. But, you know, a lot of that is because he has so little time to stand in the pocket before, guess what? He's getting rushed immediately. Now, with that being said, we have 3 offensive linemen out. So is that just coming out of left field? Not exactly. I kind of expected it. But just bad play. And, you know, I'm really upset over this loss. And it's not just because we lost to the Bengals. I don't really care about that. And I know we didn't technically lose, but guess what? It's a loss because we didn't win. And we had an opportunity today, as Don said earlier. Every other team in the division lost. I knew the Cowboys were going to be in for a rough week this week, and I knew the Giants were probably going to lose. and I also thought that Washington was going to play like Washington plays. So I really thought coming into this week, we could get back on track, and the other teams were at best going to have very difficult games. All of that happened, and they all lost, and we still couldn't pull out a victory. Pathetic. To be completely honest with you, I was getting so pissed off watching this game, especially in overtime, because there was just so many bonehead penalties. Just penalties that were just, hold on a minute. How many penalties did we have this game? 11 penalties for 93 yards. That's a touchdown, okay? In overtime, we must have had at least probably 4. We got the ball, we went basically nowhere, sent it back to the Bengals, then we got it back, and we started making somewhat of a drive down the field. We go some yards forward. Oh, somebody was doing something wrong. Take it back some yards. Then we managed to get the first down, and oh, there we go. Somebody's holding, or somebody is doing a false start. Then we don't end up getting anything, and so we punt it back to the Bengals. We get the ball back with the potential to do something, and then we drive it down, and I'm not saying that he's guaranteed going to make that kick. 58 yards, whatever the hell it was, that's a long kick, but it would have been nice to at least have a chance. But instead, some bozo on the offensive line managed to get a false start in a potential game-winning time. How in the absolute hell do you let that happen? I mean, good God. Like, I'm speechless. How do you let that happen?
Far from it.
Well, yeah. Oh, how do you let that happen? When I saw that play, all I can say is, it's a good thing I wasn't holding anything, because I just about threw something at the screen, and that would have been
I was happy.
Oh, I'm sure you were. And then on top of that, to top off the fact that some frickin' moron was not in the right spot, then in the confusion of all that, which it wasn't confusing at all because that guy is just a frickin' idiot and needs to sit on the bench, but for whatever reason, they couldn't figure out, as Dad says, how to teach their hand to wipe their own butt. And so then you get a delay of game penalty on top of that, just in case maybe you wanted to do something. Let's go ahead and remove that as well. Oh my God. The way that game ended, oh man, horrible. I was so pissed off. And again, I'm not saying he's going to make that kick, but when you remove all chance by having boneheads on the offensive line that can't even line up correctly and then get delay of games when you're still trying to win, that is pathetic. That is on coaching. That is people that are getting paid, not doing their jobs, and above all else, that's just stupid. You cannot have that. We're against the damn Bengals. And the Bengals are better this year, but we needed to win this game, and instead of potentially winning this game, you got guys out there, don't know what they're doing, potential game-winning play, and they can't even line up correctly. I don't think I have ever been more sick to my stomach than watching the way that they handled themselves in that overtime. Every single time we did something positive, a penalty brought us back yards. And I'm not saying that we're winning the game if those penalties don't happen, but they sure as hell didn't help, because every single time you're halting the momentum of the team. Like, people are moving forwards and then they have to go back 5 yards. You're playing with a whole bunch of freaking people from the Boy Scouts of America on your receiving corps. What do you expect from these guys? I mean, oh my God. Like, we had 381 yards of offense. The running game played really well, ran really well, 175 yards rushing. So I honestly feel like we dominated on the line on both sides of the ball. On defense, we were causing havoc, in the backfield stopping the run. On offense, we were letting our offense run. But then on the same token, you know, you got your quarterback that's notorious for getting injured running the ball 9 times. I mean, good Lord. I don't know if the coach needs to come up with a new offensive strategy, because apparently I said this week 1, and I don't know if I said it week 2, but I might as well have, and go ahead and edit this clip to put it in week 4. When you know that you have offensive linemen out, you have no time to throw, get the hell rid of the ball. Like, okay, how do you not game plan for that? I said that before. You know that you have offensive linemen missing, and you're still running the same offense as if you are at full strength. You can't do that. How many more times is he going to have to get sacked and hit and blasted in the backfield and injured before you realize that when you have offensive linemen out, you cannot let him hold on to the ball. Change your offense. Like, get rid of the ball. Do run pass option, quick slants, something. It's ridiculous. I mean, come on. Like, I'm not even coaching. I'm watching the game on the couch, and I can see this stuff. So where are the adjustments being made? Nowhere. The only adjustment I see being made is, hey, guess what? You know, the helmets look shiny this week. Well, that's great, but guess what? We lost again. So we needed to take advantage of this. This was basically a win or die. The sad thing about it is that it's going to end up not being win or die because every other team in our division absolutely sucks. So, with that being said, it's a sad state of affairs that we are still in the running for this division. We don't deserve to be. We are horrible. It's sad that we are in the conversation to tank for frickin' Trevor Lawrence, and we're still right there in the division. I mean, how bad is that? We can play this miserable, this putrid, and still be in the running to possibly do something. That is absolutely sickening, and as a fan, I'm not even happy about that. I wish that we were so bad that the division was already wrapped up by week 5. I really wish that was the case, because I am sick of having the potential of maybe clawing back. And guess what? If we can't beat the Bengals, we got the frickin' Steelers, the 49ers. The 49ers are supposed to take a step back with all these injuries. Well, they beat the crap out of the Giants today, and I have no doubt that they will do the exact same thing to us next week. It's going to be ugly. I'm sure that our defense is going to make their backup quarterback look like $1 million, because that's what we do best. Make other teams that are not really that good look like all-stars, and then they come out the next week and play like crap. Hell, look at the damn Washington. As they look like $1 million against us. Since that game, they haven't been the same team. But boy, we sure made them look good. I'm done. Next game. I'm done. I mean, I'm just beyond upset. And there's positives, yes, but I'm just sick of losing. And,
Hey, at least we got the Jags next week, so that's a potential win. We'll see.
Yeah, we have another blowout to look forward to. Woohoo! Can't wait.
I'll take a tie over 0-3 any day, I guess. Yeah. At least especially for me, because we're not projecting.
Yeah, but that's another thing I talked about in the preview. It's different for you because expectations coming in are completely different.
Yeah,
like for you, that's a great performance. Not maybe getting, it's unfortunate you couldn't get the win, but you came out with a tie, so you didn't lose in a game that a lot of people figured maybe you would lose. So that's a win for you.
Yeah.
For us, that's a freaking kick to the nuts.
To me, we've been playing competitive all season. So it doesn't surprise me that we were in a game with the Eagles, to be honest. It really did not surprise me. Even if they were healthy, I still think we could have been in the game. At least scored with them.
No, I have no doubt. From what I see week to week, shoot, we're going to be in a game with the Jets.
You're lucky.
But
Yeah, if we're lucky.
But
No, you're lucky.
nonetheless,
Broncos won't win the
Nonetheless.
game on Thursday, so at least you'd have a chance to beat them. We won't.
nonetheless, I see us being in a
feel
lot
the
of
love?
shootouts throughout this season. I see us being in a lot of shootouts.
Can you feel the love in this room here today, guys? I mean, let's go with it.
There was a lot of love before I started talking, but now I'm getting pissed off again.
But anyways,
I was planning on not getting too upset, but oh well. There goes that. So, okay, let's move on to the next game.
the Lions. Let's talk about the Lions.
Yeah, let's talk about a team that actually won.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna start this off honestly. I thought that was a really good performance for the Lions and a very good win. As we all know, the Cardinals are really playing some good football these days. So quality win for the Lions. Do I think this is saving Patricia? No. I think if he doesn't turn it around in these next couple games, I could still see him being thrown in the trash. So, we'll see. But good performance today, and we'll see what next week comes. What comes next week.
Yeah, from what I watched of the Lions game, I was pretty impressed, especially with the defense. You know, they didn't do perfectly, but they were able to get 3 sacks on Kyler Murray. 3 interceptions on Kyler Murray, and some of those were not necessarily because the defense played great. Like, I think one of them, it went off a guy's hands or something, and then the Detroit player happened to be standing there in the background and then caught it. So that's not necessarily on the quarterback. It went right through the receiver's hands. But with that being said, you can have
short set.
with that being said, you can have turnovers, but unless you turn those turnovers into points and capitalize, they don't always mean a whole hell of a lot. But today, at least, Detroit was able to usually capitalize on those turnovers that they forced Arizona to have.
To me, this game was a perfect example of the potential the team has. The potential that the team has with the talent.
Yep.
They played pretty decent throughout the whole day. So.
Yep, and congrats to Okuda on getting his first interception in the NFL career. That was a nice play that he made on that ball. So, also not a greatly thrown ball, but still, that was a good play that he made on it. So.
Of all people sitting here, I'm as shocked as anybody that they were able to pull this victory out today. I'm happy and I'm proud of them. I think a couple of the key factors were the turnover thing. I mean, Stafford didn't have any picks today. They kind of went back to Adrian Peterson.
22 carries.
And, he put up 75 yards worth of rushing. And then, Kerryon Johnson added another 16. So, it was almost a 100-yard rushing day. And that's just kind of the balance that they need. I mean, they need to be able to have some success running the ball, so that way the passing game works much better. Another big key today that I was noticing was just having Kenny Golladay back out there made a huge difference, because whether he's at full strength or even if he's not, just having him on the field, people have to account for him. And, he's usually going to be one of these guys that may draw like a double team. So that opens up, some stuff for the other receivers and tight ends alike. And with that being said, another nice day for Hawkinson. Every time I turn around, that guy seems to be making catches. Unfortunately, I'm sitting here giving these guys credit. This is also the same team that constantly does something right and then goes away from it.
So maybe you should.
And Hawkinson is a perfect example of that, because week in, week out, this guy's making plays. It doesn't really matter who the defense is, at least up to this point. And even last year, the same thing. When they throw the ball at him, he catches it. And he usually makes positive plays with it. And, I mean, that's huge, I mean, and that's why, teams that have, like, I mean, I look at the Chiefs and some of these teams that utilize the tight end position. That's, I think, why they're so successful. The tight end just gives you a lot of options. I mean, to have a guy like Kelsey or, Gronkowski or, people like that where, they can actually catch the ball, it makes a huge difference in what you're able to do with the offense. And it also helps open up the running game as well. So, overall, I was real happy with the effort today. I sat here this last time we were on this video and said that if they lost today, that I thought Patricia would be gone. And I still stand by that. I thought for sure if he lost today, then they're firing him. And I mean, I don't know for how long this, prolongs that from happening, unless this team all of a sudden, starts winning games. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I would love nothing more than for that to happen, to where, because truthfully, we need some stability. We don't need to keep firing coaches and firing people. And I mean, we just need to get some stability. We need to get wins. And I mean, I'm not a huge Matt Patricia supporter just because I don't feel like he's done a very good job up to this point. I think the team's way underperformed for the level of talent that it has on it. But today was a nice win and against a very good football team. So, I mean, I take some positives out of this. We still have some negatives. As per usual, I think pass rush is always an issue. We don't seem to get a whole lot of pass rush unless we send blitzers, which, you got to pick your poison with that one because you do a lot of blitzing and then you leave yourself open for plays over the top and stuff like that. So it's kind of a dangerous game. You play with it, but if we could somehow get a little better pass rush, that would be an awesome thing. But like I said, overall, I'm pretty pleased with the results today, and hats off to the whole team really, and the coaching staff too. Obviously everybody on that team has been under fire. Stafford's had his naysayers come out and start saying, "Oh, look, this guy, he's not playing well, he's not throwing the ball right, or whatever." And I mean, obviously they didn't come out and obliterate the Cardinals and beat them convincingly, but they did win the game, and that's really all that matters. And he had, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and so if we can play that kind of football and get the run production, then I mean the Lions have got a lot of talent, and they should be able to be in games. Mm-hmm. Week in and week out, they should be in games. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Like I said, I kudos to the coaching staff and the players for, kind of tightening up the bootstraps and, coming to work and not letting previous weeks, deficiencies and issues, take them into this game. So, I mean, we got to win games, in the fourth quarter. We can't continue to, drop leads and stuff like that. And so today was a big step in the right direction in that area. Mm-hmm. So
this is, to me, definitely a big confidence booster if you're a Lions fan. Mm-hmm. Especially considering who they're playing next. This was a big win, because they got the Saints next week. Mm-hmm. Not going to be an easy game.
No, not at all. And I believe it's in New Orleans on top of it, so I mean, we could be having some fun with that one.
But I think you'll be in the game if you play like you did today.
There is no reason, in my opinion, there's really no reason we can't be in every game we suit up in, because there's nobody that's that great. That I mean, with the offensive weapons we have and the running game's working, we should be in every game. I mean, I really believe it. I think the offensive talent is there, and the offensive line is not great, but it's decent.
Yeah, well, it's going to be the same thing with the Saints always. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be Stafford versus Breeze, who's going to play better. Last thing I wanted to say was another thing that I noticed throughout the game that I did watch, and looking at the stat sheet too, is they only allowed Kyler Murray 5 scrambles for 29 yards, which, you know, and I know you can't take college, but even in some games I've watched him in the pros, 29 yards is 1 carry. Because, you know, everybody's back there covering their man. He scrambles, avoids a couple people, and before you know it, he's halfway downfield. So I feel like, you know, obviously 29 yards to a quarterback is not ideal. But with that being said, the last thing that you want to do when you're the defense is allow him to beat you with his legs, and I feel like they at least did a good job of containing him. So.
No, I think you're right. I think overall they did a nice job of containing him, because he's definitely you got to watch him wherever he goes.
Yep.
And he's so quick and agile, and I mean he's got a cannon for an arm too for such a for such a small guy. And
not taken away from his throwing ability, but when you take away the running aspect of his game and he's not able to do it as effectively, that makes him more one-dimensional. And when you do that, well, 3 picks. So, you know, I don't think that's just a coincidence, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the snaps, an 0-11 streak, I think. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, huge win. Doesn't matter if it's on the road. I mean, especially on the road. And especially a team that hasn't lost yet. So again, you know, I can preach this to the choir till I'm blue in the face. Is defense made turnovers when they needed to make turnovers, got what they needed to do. Offense played efficiently, was able to run the ball, control the clock a little bit. My favorite drunk kicker, Matt Prater, was perfect. He was 4 for 4 to wherever. So he was able to do everything they needed to do. They actually made a end of the game step up, you know, was actually able to finish a game, and they made it, and they kicked the field. So again, they did exactly what the Lions should be doing every week, instead of making this one-off. So hopefully they don't go to another 11 games before they win another one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is the same. This is the blueprint. This is what Detroit should do. Is with it is run the ball, have Stafford make good passes when he's able to. Don't turn the ball over. Have the defense, you know, play like they do. Make timely turnovers. Get the ball back. They're good to go with it. So again, good job for the Lion fans. So you don't have to worry about, you know, getting those bags just yet. So like I said, perfect complete game that they actually played from first quarter to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I would agree. Like I said, I'm as critical as anybody is of the Lions, being a fan, and you know, nothing frustrates me more than to see them take games where they should win and, you know, find ways to lose. And half the time it's not really that the other team's beating them; they beat themselves. You know, with stupid penalties and garbage play calling. You know, defensive collapses. And it was like Don said, I mean, it was just nice to see them play a complete game for once and come into the fourth quarter and rather than falter under the pressure,
not give up a point.
Right, and exceed in the moment rather than, you know, crumble. So it was very nice win for them. And, I mean, I just hope that they can continue down this path of kind of use this as a building block to say, okay, now that we got a little confidence, let's continue on and see where this takes us. But whatever. I mean, I fully expect to be sitting here next game talking about how the hell do we go from this to that and then go right back to the shit again. But we'll see. But as for tonight, I'm happy, and I don't really have a whole lot of bad things to say. I think, like I said, they did a pretty good job all the way around. The defense made plays when they had to, came up with 3 huge turnovers. When you win the turnover game, you usually have a chance to win the game. So that's a good sign. And like Bryson said too, nice to see Jeff Okuda step up big, come up with his first interception, and I think it's going to be, one of many he's going to have in his career.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a guy that's got a lot of talent and a pretty bright future ahead of him in this league, as long as he's able to avoid the injury bug. And so we'll see.
Yep. Last thing that I wanted to point out too is, they won the time of possession by 5 minutes, and what does that come from? Well, they attempted the rush 27 times, and 22 of those were Peterson, which is good because you don't have the strongest defense in the world. So the last thing that you need to be doing is putting them in uncomfortable positions and stuff. And on the flip side, that's exactly what the Cardinals did, was put their defense in bad position after bad position after bad position with turnovers. And the Lions didn't do that. They controlled the time of possession. And, yeah, they look good this week. Only thing I will say is they need to clean up the penalties still. Mm-hmm. They still had 7 penalties, which, it was only for 45 yards, it looks like, but,
No, and every yard counts.
Every yard counts, yep. That's halfway down the field.
No, exactly. That's that's a lot of yards.
Yeah.
And most of those penalties, I didn't get to see the whole game. I watched bits and pieces of it, but some of the ones I saw were kind of just bonehead false starts and stupid stuff that really, needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But again, overall, very nice day for me, and I'm proud of the Lions this week.
Yep.
So let's go on to the next game, which let's talk about the Broncos, and their game today with
the Bucks.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay team.
Pity name, the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. I will say that from what I saw of the game, a lot of it really just looked like offensive line issues. Not that should be a surprise, but it just, when you can't protect your quarterback, especially some guy that's not really supposed to be in there in the first place, you're really going to have just a long day, and that's exactly what happened. And the guy that was on the Broncos, Shaq Barrett, yes? That guy was all over the field every single time that the Broncos would come on red zone or I'd switch over to the game. He was making a play, doing something involved in some form of a play. I believe he's the one that got the safety for him or something like that. So that dude, he really came out and said, "Hey, remember me?" And, He played like somebody that is worth what he gets paid, and he just came out and played one of his better games that I've seen from him today. And when you got a backup quarterback, like I said before, it doesn't help that he's a backup quarterback, but then on top of that, you're putting him in uncomfortable positions, and he's got pressure in his face all day long. And when that happens, you're going to have a hard time winning games. I don't care where the game's played. And that's the biggest thing that I saw happen today.
Oh, man. I would kind of like to echo what he was talking about. Mainly offensive line problems is what I noticed. Shaq Barrett, huge game, like he said too. And it doesn't help that you have a lot of injuries. So,
yeah.
Do I look at this as kind of a accurate depiction of the Broncos as a team? Like kind of how they perform when they're fully healthy? Definitely not. I think they're a lot better team than this. But like we were talking about, injuries. So.
Yeah. And we talk about this week to week. If you guys watch our other reviews, you'll probably hear this brought up, not just on Tuned In Sports, but on DENT Sports. When your offense is going 3 and out and not moving the ball, and your defense is constantly on the field, even if you have one of the better defenses, they're going to start getting tired. And the offense just couldn't move the ball, so the defense, I don't know what the time of possession looked like, but I'm going to imagine, so it looks like Tampa Bay had the ball for 33 minutes, and Denver had the ball for just under 27, which doesn't surprise me because, their offense wasn't moving the ball, and their defense was on the field all day long. So,
I would agree. I think Denver's biggest issue is they don't have enough healthy people right now.
Yeah, exactly.
With that being said, I don't know that if Drew Lock's playing, that they necessarily win this game. Just because of the other injuries that are on this squad at the moment, and you can't take a guy like what's his name that went on the defense,
Von Miller.
Yeah, Von Miller, and just take him out of the equation. And it changes a lot of things, pass rush wise and coverage wise, all this kind of stuff. Things change a lot when a guy like that goes out.
Yeah.
And overall, I think the Broncos defense is actually pretty damn solid.
Yeah.
And like you said, the offense not being able to move the ball is kind of problematic because, like you say, then the defense is on the field too much, and and the playmakers got to make plays as well. They got a very young receiving core there. I saw, a couple of missed passes today that probably should have been caught, but again, it's amazing how things go when you have all the pieces rather than just a portion of them. Because I think even sometimes the guys that are out there, like you got that Jerry Jeudy, the kid from Alabama, who's a rookie. Sutton's out of there. I don't know. I think it just adds more pressure on what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's putting more pressure on himself to perform, which, may not be helping it. Now, I do agree. He's getting paid to catch footballs. And, he's caught footballs his whole career, his whole life, and didn't have too many problems dropping the ball when he was at Alabama. So he should still be able to catch the ball. But, I just think there's a lot of pieces kind of floating around right now. I think if the Broncos can get healthy, I think it'll help change things around a little bit. And I agree. I don't think, like Bennett said, I don't think the team that you're looking at here is actually, how the Broncos are going to look or what kind of team they are. If they're healthy, I think,
it's a
different game.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
A totally different game. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a totally different game. Because we all sat here outside of me. I did say that I didn't think they were going to win yesterday, but I think we all kind of agreed that the Broncos are potentially good enough to beat these teams.
Yeah.
Talent-wise, I know they're good enough to beat them.
I picked them to win.
I know, and so did Don. He was the first one to come out with that statement.
Uh-huh.
And regardless of that, he's a fan or not. I can understand where he was coming from. The Broncos have plenty of ability, plenty of talent. And they got a defense good enough to play with these guys.
He swayed me.
Yeah. And so, I find myself rooting for the Broncos a lot. Probably because, obviously Don's a good friend of mine, but I find myself rooting for them. They have a lot of players that I like. And so it's easy for me to get behind that team and root for it. So, moving forward, I think, they're in a situation where as guys get more and more healthy, they could be, hopefully it's not going to be too little too late scenario or situation. But I could see this team, once guys start coming back, all of a sudden, they could run off 6 or 7 wins in a row real easy.
And
so we'll see.
I think their receiving core with Jerry Jeudy and Kevin Hamler. KJ, sorry. But
yeah,
those guys are only going to get better.
Yeah, I love that kid. That Hamler kid's going to be a player.
Jerry Jeudy
Speed,
actually
speed.
led the team in receptions today. Which
So, they got a lot. I think the
which
future's
isn't
bright.
hard when there's only 4.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I mean, obviously, we're not sitting here trying to paint the picture that everything's roses in Denver
Nah.
land, but I mean, I think sometimes myself, I know I'm I'm always super critical of everything the Lions do, so I can understand, as a Bronco fan or whatever, being upset with this stuff because you want to do better and you hate to see it happening, but I don't know. Like I said, I think if they can get this solid play at the quarterback is a big step in the right direction, and I think having the running back, what's his name? Come
Lindsey?
back. Yeah, Lindsey. Yeah, having Lindsey back's going to be huge as well because he adds a whole nother dimension to the passing game, and that's one of the things I think with him being out that kind of hurt him a little bit. And it's not that what's his name can't catch the ball good out of the backfield, but Lindsey's more of a slash back, and Griffin's more of a straight ahead runner. So
Yeah.
I just think it's.
you mean Gordon?
Yeah, Gordon. I mean,
The big tight end.
Gordon's more of a
Second
straight
down and
ahead
4.
guy, where Lindsey's kind of a slash back, and he can do a lot of things, and he's got great hands, and they use him in a lot of different sets. So,
Yeah.
I mean, him being out really kind of hurt him as well today.
Where to start? If I keep talking about this is going to go off the rails real fast. I'm going to keep this as a PG version on this. If you want to tune in for the R version, tune into DENT Sports later this week because it's going to be awesome. Unfortunately for us, we've seen this for the last 5 years. It's the same story. Defense goes out and plays lights out, and somehow we just totally on offense or special teams, which is, especially this year, special teams is horrible.
Yeah.
The first quarter, everybody's getting into the game. What do? Instead of fumbling the punt in the end zone, we just let the guy run scot-free down the front of the middle, right down the middle of the pipe, and he blocks the punt, and it rolls all the way down to the 10-yard line. Well, what are you going to do? Oh, you give Tommy right there on the 10-yard line. Wonder what he's going to do. He's going to rip it right down the middle, per se, and then guess what? You're down 7-0, and then you're still in the game. And then what does the offense do? Come out and does squat. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Defense, go back out there and save us. It's only 10-0. It's 10-3 or whatever, 13-3. It was, kind of manageable through the game.
Yep.
And then here we go again. Not blocking. You got 2 freaking swinging gates on each side. Both tackles are just as the win. And again, guess what happened last week? Steelers, what did they do? They blitzed you. Well, what do you think Tampa's going to do? You got Shaq Barrett. You've got all these weapons. Davis, everything. What are they going to do? They're going to send them.
Yeah.
Guess what happens? Same story. Looked exactly like the same game last week. And then Noah Fant, we're going to put him in for blocking. JPP just ran right over him. He pushed him off the line all the way back to the quarterback on one play. Horrible. Yeah, Fant's great when he's out there running the ball, trying to catch balls. But you know what? That's the things I missed about Virgil Green.
Yeah.
Guess what? He blocks. If he blocks, guess what happens? You run the ball better. Guess what you do? Ball control. And again, Tom only had, he had one big pass, and it was an Eli Manning pass for like 50 or 60 yards. It said Goodyear on it. Comes down with it. And again, guess what happens? You keep giving Tom the ball, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose. It's no doubt about it. And then all of a sudden, with their wisdom, they're like, oh, let's try this Rippon guy. Ryan Rippon, we've had him on the practice squad and everything from Boise State. Again, not a bad kid, but guess what? Oh, he's going to be more cerebral. Well, he doesn't have time to be cerebral. He can make things. Well, you only have 2.5 seconds to get the damn ball out. You can't sit there and just read a book back there, especially with Shaq Barrett and that group. And it's just the same story. You can watch the games every week. It's the same damn story. Offense is pathetic. Defense plays their eyeballs out. per se. Again, like I said, PG version. And they get nothing to show for it. And eventually, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get injuries because they're going to be out there too long. They're going to get hurt. And then it's going to be even more. And then they're going to be the same thing just like the Eagles usually. Who's this guy? Where did he come from?
Exactly.
And again, but again, it's the same thing though. It's what the hell is this management doing with things? You got rid of Todd Davis. He led the team in tackles. Just cut him right before the season starts. Why?
Yeah.
And then guess what? Oh, he's on Minnesota. Oh, he plays lights out for Minnesota. Huh. Again, same thing. Practice, real game time. I have no idea what's going on. It's almost to the point where it's just like, knock down the walls and we got to rebuild this. It's done. Because again, we've been doing this for 5 years. It's the same damn thing. Over and over and over again. It's the same movie. I'm tired of watching it.
Yeah.
I want something new.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch the whole game, but do you think it's same thing with like the Eagles where they're not game planning knowing that he has no time to throw?
Yeah, I mean, I know with Shermer, but I think with this, just like kind of like, again, it's the same story. It's the Vance Joseph thing. It's the same thing. Why isn't this team prepared?
Yeah.
This team should be prepared to go.
Yeah.
And I think, again, Vic is a good guy. Everybody loves Vic. Just like I said, Wade Phillips. Everybody loves Wade Phillips.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to tell you more in detail on DENT Sports about what I think because we don't have enough time on this damn thing right now. But it's tired of watching the same show. It's like watching the old Three's Company. Oh, I wonder what Jack Tripper's going to do today. Oh, he's going to fall into trouble with Christie and whoever else. Oh, come on, knock on our door. It's the same damn show over and over and over again.
Yep.
So again, it's just frustrating.
Yeah.
And then I don't, again, they're going to be playing a primetime game on Thursday against the hapless Jets, and I don't see it this way right now. Them pulling that out either, because if they're not going, if the game plan for the last 2 weeks has been this. You're not going to win.
Nope.
And I think too, one of the things that happens is it's not good for the locker room either when you got one side of the ball playing their ass off and the other side is like underperforming, because that brings a little like dissension, like hey, when are you going to fucking wake up and start scoring points? Mm-hmm. Because then the guys on the defense start getting pissed off and say, fuck it. Who cares? We're not going to win this game anyway.
I'm going to hurt myself.
Yeah.
I'm either going to save myself for another year or I'm going to go get myself a contract.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what Simmons is doing. Simmons right now, he's under contract last year. He's going to be gone. I guarantee it. Because guess what? Why should I hurt myself with this team effort that I'm getting right now on the other side of the ball?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to go and I'll be... Because I'm sure Philadelphia's going to call him up. Oh, we need a safety. Oh, who's in the running for a free? Oh, hey, Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Yep. You know what I mean? Those teams that always call. Oh, Baltimore. Oh, hey, Ravens. Yeah, we need a safety. We lost Earl Thomas last year. We need somebody to come out here and ball out. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll come over there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a couple more guys that used to play for your team over here too. Oh, yeah, Derek Wolf. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he was over here too. So it's like, it's the same old crap. And again, this will not work when you're playing Kansas City.
No.
This will not work. Because guess what you're doing? Here you go, Pat. Here you go, Pat. Here you go, Pat. Can you score enough when you give you the ball? It's like NBA. We're going to give you the ball 40 times. Do you think you can put up some points?
Yeah. And if you had a hard time stopping Brady at 43, Pat Mahomes is going to be a real nightmare.
No, it's a complete other mess. And again, that's the team you need to beat.
Yeah.
If you wanted to win the division or actually put a yardstick to you,
right.
Guess what that is? It's Kansas City.
Yep.
So, but for all you people that still have your Tampa Bay stuff, I'm sorry you're not going to be able to return it in 3 months, because without your receipt. So keep on to it, because I know some of you people are like, oh, Tom's down Tampa Bay, I'm going to buy my new stuff. Which I saw another thing that really grinded my gears. I saw a lot of Tampa Bay fans in the stands.
Oh, yeah.
So we're putting a limited amount of people, 5,700 people, into the stands. And most of them were in Tampa Bay shit. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're not welcomed here.
Yeah.
And especially to the people that have the season tickets. Hey, kudos for you for getting all the money you could, I guess. I guess you need COVID money, I guess, to pay for those season tickets to sell them. Again, how do these Tampa Bay people get them in their hands?
Yeah, they should.
You're season ticket holders. You're season ticket holders for the Broncos.
Theoretically.
Broncos.
Yeah. Theoretically, there shouldn't be a single fan.
No, there shouldn't be any.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be anything. And I want to say also, thank you for the city of South Park for showing up this week. It was pretty sweet for you guys to be up in the stands. It was great to see the whole city of South Park there representing. So sorry there big fat piece of shit. That sound there. So anyway, like I said, tune into DENT Sports. It'll be entertaining.
Yeah. Last thing that I wanted to say, and this isn't just about the Broncos, but this is just about all of us in general. I know that sometimes you come on to this channel, or maybe you'll go on to their channel, and you'll see people getting upset and frustrated and stuff. But I want you guys to understand that, as sports fans who genuinely really care about this kind of stuff, it's just... especially when it's the same, like Don said, it's the same thing week after week. It's not just, oh man, well, now we found out another thing we need to work on. No, it's the same thing, and no adjustments are being made, and you're running into the same problems. I'm seeing the same thing with the Eagles, the Lions. It's generally the same thing. Can't close out games, can't do this, can't do that. The Bengals
can't get a lead in the game.
Well, there's a host of different things with the Bengals, but it's just it's one thing to lose games, and it's another thing to just see issues on the team, and especially as people sitting on the couch at home, we see these things, but yet we don't see the coaching staff making changes to address them. I mean, the things that the Buccaneers did to beat the Broncos this week is no different than what the Steelers did. Did they not watch tape? You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with the Eagles. It's like anybody that's watching tape on the Eagles just say, oh, okay, what do we need to do against Philadelphia? Well, we know that the offense isn't going to do much because, for one, they have so many injuries that even if they wanted to move the ball, they're going to struggle. And two, we know that even though the defensive line is really good, Slay balled. He played so good today, but guess what? The other corner sucks. So throw it his way. Tyler Boyd, he had a field day today. I mean, he had, I think, 8 catches, maybe 10 catches, 100+ yards. 100. And it's just like, it's the same thing every single damn week. So when we get upset and frustrated, it's not just because, oh, you're overreacting and stuff like that. No, it's because we freaking...
And also, too, is with it, too, is that, again, I've lost rooting for this team a lot of games.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes, I have to accept it. Like, giving up 35 points in the Super Bowl in the second quarter. Hey, kudos to the Washington Redskins. You just pretty much stomped on our face.
Yeah.
The 89 49ers in the Super Bowl, putting up double nickel on us.
Yeah.
Hey, kudos. I mean, again, Jerry Rice, Montana, we've been beaten by the best.
Yeah.
There is no with it. And you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, we lost. There's very few instances that will come in, or I will come in and say, we lost this game because of blah, 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 blah. No, it's usually we lost this game because we've made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah.
We didn't execute with something.
Yeah.
With it. And again, if we execute, but we, setting the expectations of we need to execute. And that should be the goal of the team, right? We need to come in with a game plan. We need to execute the game plan the best of our abilities and try to get,
make adjustments on the fly.
And come out with a nice performance. And again, like I said, you take the L, you take the L. I've been to games there. I've seen it. I mean, we're up 24 points against the Chargers. Well, guess what happened at halftime? No adjustments. Jake Plummer started throwing the ball everywhere across the field. Drew Brees and LaDainian Tomlinson racked us up. Lost the game 28-24.
Yep.
That's what happens. Boy, at halftime, everybody was having, hey, where are we going to go tonight? What are we going to do tonight? Where are we going to celebrate? We're going to go out and paint the town, right? Dun. By the time that game was over with, we were doing what? I just want to go home. This is depressing.
Yeah.
You know, with it, it took to suck the whole life out of everybody.
Yeah.
That's there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But again, you know, sitting there when Tebow scored, you know, I've seen us beat the Steelers, I've seen us beat the Patriots. You know, we've beaten the Chiefs before. We got hosed by the Chiefs before at home in those games. So again, that's one of those instances where I'm like, what the hell's that call? You know, where I'm like, But most of the time, guess what? Better team won that day usually.
Yeah.
You know? And I'll accept it because it's like, well, this is what it is. But when it's time when you don't even give yourself a chance to even compete, that's the stuff that pisses you off.
Yeah. Exactly, and he said it best too when he said it's one thing when the other team is just clearly better, they played better, they did everything right, your team sucked. But it's also another thing when you played just as good or you were the better team out there and you can't win because of the same things week to week. It's just frustrating, and that's also why you know, we're recording the night of the loss. So I mean. You expect us to be up here smiling and happy about another loss, 0-3, woo! Can't wait for next week.
Hey, like Marvin Lewis says, got to do a better job.
And that brings me to my point. I'm sick and tired of watching the same flipping press conference every damn week. How many times can I hear, we got to do a better job of coaching this up? We got to execute. We need to execute. We need to play better. Well, we need to coach better.
And the beautiful thing
when's it going to happen?
It's the beautiful thing is this must be scripted to every NFL team in the whole league.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even Quinn the day after another fucking defeat. I'm sorry, people. Sorry, PG. Of a defeat with the Eagles again. You know, what does he go up there? Oh, well, you know, we played great, and, you know, you can't change the two highs and the two lows. And no, you just blew two big games. Yep. You just blew two games with a 98 and a 99% chance of winning.
Yeah.
You took the L.
Yeah, for the Falcons.
Not to mention the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Where you did the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess what you're doing? Yeah, that's what we're here for. Yeah, doing a good job. We're trying to do the best we can. This is what we got. Everybody's playing hard. Click.
Yeah.
No, why don't you have a fire like, what the hell's happening? I mean, I would have been throwing garbage cans and slamming doors as soon as I got in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And going, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Again, the old famous Jerry Glanville line. This is the NFL. Not for long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I completely agree.
It's just frustrating. I mean, because you constantly hear the same basic things being talked about after every loss, every week, and it's always, we got to coach better, we got to play better, we got to execute, we got to play better defense. Well, when's this shit gonna happen? Mm-hmm. You know, you preach it every week, but we never see any results. So, I mean, at some point in time, you got to wonder, is the conversation even being had? Like,
well, no, exactly like what I said before about, you know, it's the same damn thing every single week. Are they not watching tape? Because I've said from week one, it's one thing to have injuries, but you need to be able to game plan around it. When I know that there's 3 offensive linemen out with an injury, what does that mean? You're not going to have time. You'll be lucky to get a good running game, so you need to come up with a game plan where the ball is leaving his hand quickly. And every single week, it's the same story every week. And it's like, if I'm seeing it, all I do is play Madden. If I was playing Madden, I would be illuminating defenses with this team. Because I'm like, okay, just get rid of the ball. Whoop! X, boom, slant patterns. You know, I mean, do this stuff.
You know, that kind of makes me think of something with the Bengals. They have like some of these newer players that are saying, "Oh, we're taking control of this defense," and you know, like building up some of these guys, and here we are still giving up 300 yards a game. Defensive line not doing anything.
That's what it is.
It's like, wait, I'm not seeing what you're seeing apparently, because what you're preaching isn't showing up on the field.
Well, and the funny thing about it too is that, you know, these days there's assistants of assistants of assistants on these teams.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys ain't even carrying the full load like the old guys did. You're sitting here doing this, and you've got 3 other people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, load management. We got to do, well, it ain't working.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about the coaching staff in general. I'm talking about the players.
But it's the coaching staff
It's
too,
the coaching
though.
staff that keeps you sit there to go, hey, you should be in this spot during this play.
Yeah.
You should be making adjustments, audibilizing, doing whatever, put people in the right spot, because guess what? That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like Driscoll. He comes up to the line and there's a guy coming off the corner. Where's Shaq Barrett? I mean, that was the one thing I did. I mean, again, kudos to Brady. He was sitting there like this. He'd come up to the line. Of course, we don't have any crowd noise there hardly because everybody's not there.
No, and the
but
ones
he's
that
sitting
were
there and
there
he's
were
going, Mike, 47, da 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 da. He was pointing out what the hell to look for.
Yep.
Driscoll comes up and goes, what play am I running?
Yeah.
There's a guy coming off the corner. Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, and then the linemen are just, like I said, the swinging gates on the corners.
Yeah.
Wilkerson and Boris is just useless.
Yep.
Especially, I mean, they might be fine against teams that, the Jets, they might look like all-stars. Maybe they might be able to protect him, but Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay the last 2 weeks with people that blitz you. Complete. It's like
They weren't even chipping them half the time.
it was like you're not even there. And then, like I said, you put Fan on the side to help out the tackle. Guess what? Now you got 2 time bombs on the same side.
Yeah. No kidding.
Kind of reminds me of the whole right side of our offensive line.
Horrible.
Bobby Hart, trash.
Trash.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah. Like I said, on one side we got trash, on the other side we got recyclable. And they're both getting taken out Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we've all. Well, this is
We've exhausted this episode.
Yeah, this has been quite the episode.
Can't wait for Thursday.
Yeah, like I said, if you guys, I've said in previous videos, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and tune into our channel, as well as make sure you tune into the DENT Sports guys channel, especially if you're a Denver, Detroit sports fan. They got great content over there, so make sure you check them out. And as I've said before, if you like the content over here, you will probably like what they do over there, because it's, we run it all together. So with that being said, guys, my name's Bryson,
I'm Bennett.
Steve.
I'm done.
and we'll see you guys in the next video.